All right, so what are some ways that I know are proven to increase motivation? Well, empirically speaking, self authoring has been proven to dramatically increase motivation and performance. College students who do the self authoring have been shown to increase their grade point average significantly, to decrease dropout rates by like 80%. I forget the exact numbers. Um, but it has proven benefits, and also it even has physical health benefits. Like they do follow up, say, like a year later, and versus a control group, the students that did the self authoring got physically healthier. Like they started taking better care of themselves, I suppose, started going to the gym. But I also think that past authoring, where you go and talk about like the traumatic things in your life, and then like the things that still cause you to be emotional when you think about them, talk through them, figure out what they mean, figure out like why it causes you sadness or fear or anxiety. Because there's a hole in your map. Like something bad happened to you, you don't understand why, and you don't understand how to prevent it in the future. So you got to answer those questions like why did it happen? What's the nature of human malevolence? How do I avoid this happening in the future? What can I learn from this? You answer those sort of questions, and then you can move on. And those memories no longer cause you anxiety or sadness anymore. Like you see them as valuable learning lessons, and yeah, they suck, but like you're over it. So like it's what it actually shows with past authoring is that there's a short-term decrease in mood because you're facing your greatest fears. You're facing the things you least want to face about your past, about yourself, and you confronting them head on. But there are miraculous benefits in the medium to long term, medium and long term. The benefits are amazing for your mental health and physical health, dramatically. And this is all empirically proven. So if you struggle with motivation, do self authoring. Um, you can go to the website and pay $10 to have access to the whole self authoring suite. But if you're a cheap bastard and you just don't have the money, you were like literally dirt poor right now, or you're in credit card debt, you can basically just figure out how to do it by listening to descriptions of it online. You could probably even find like all the questions for the self-authoring free online somewhere. Probably torrent it, whatever, Pirate Bay sort of stuff. Regardless, like you do that, and you're guaranteed to have a dramatic improvement in motivation. I have done my teacher authoring in the past, but that was before the 4.5 year relationship I just got out of. I got to do it again. Okay. Second thing is changing your diet, adopting the bulletproof diet. Now, I just started adopting the bulletproof diet, and it is crazy. My energy levels, my mood, my body composition, everything. Like my sleep quality is better. I wake up with energy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to tackle the world. I feel like way more confident. I just feel stronger because I am physically stronger. Um, so if you're interested, look up the bulletproof diet and give it a shot. Like try it for a week and see what happens. Like what's the worst that can happen? Like you don't like it, whatever. It doesn't give you results, but for 95, I think for like 95, 99% of people, it's going to be a dramatic improvement over your current diet. And if you have trouble, switching to a high fat diet, there are ways to improve that. For example, there's digestive enzymes that are specifically made for digesting fat that makes it much easier to digest fat if you're not used to using fat and using ketones as your primary source of fuel. It is a ketogenic diet, and when you're on a ketogenic diet, instead of using carbs for fuel, you use fat for fuel. Carbs get turned into carbs get turned into glucose, which your body uses as fuel for your body and for your brain. Your brain actually uses 30% of your calories. But when you're on a ketogenic diet, your body uses ketones. So your brain is using a different source of fuel, and it works. Your brain will work way better on a ketogenic diet. I'm not exactly sure why. I haven't really read enough books about the biology of it to truly understand it, but I know that like hell, in 30% Alzheimer's cases, if you switch the person to a ketogenic diet, their Alzheimer's goes away because in 30% of Alzheimer's cases, the problem is that their brain no longer can use glucose as fuel properly. They have a dysfunction in using glucose as fuel for the brain, but the brain is still able to use ketones as fuel. So when you're on a ketogenic diet and you're one of those 30% where it's the glucose metabolism problem, a ketogenic diet will get rid of it. Not very many people know that. So if you have a loved one suffering from Alzheimer's, try putting them on a ketogenic diet for, a couple weeks and see what happens. They might, you will see a difference in like 2 or 3 days if that's the issue. And even if not, they're going to have more energy, they're going to feel better, better mood, all that. Even if it doesn't fix their Alzheimer's, they'll be physically healthier. Um, and of course, you get like when you get your 8 servings of vegetables in per day and all that. Which is a lot easier when you can use a blender and all that to make vegetable smoothies and use like stevia and other things and fruit to help make it taste good, like blueberries and raspberries and stuff like that. Man, that's how I do it. Or I make a stir fry on the days I don't work out because when I do work out, like I can barely get enough calorie dense food in my stomach to meet my calorie demands. I don't have like and I don't have enough like room in my stomach to also eat vegetables because I'm barely having being able to eat enough calories to, meet my calorie demands because like I burn on average 4,500 calories a day. Um, that's a lot of calories to eat every day, especially like it's been ever since I got on the P3OM probiotic that my digestion has been much better. I started taking digestive enzymes. It's gotten a lot easier. And my digestion is improving. My digestion is improving every single day because of P3OM. Highly recommend that supplement. I made a video review of it if you want to know more. But anyway, so yeah, um, the Alzheimer's things wasn't really relevant to motivation, but it's good information to know. Third thing that can improve motivation. Um, let's see. Well, what worked for me is writing essays about motivation. Like I'm a real big writer. Um, so in order to learn, like you can listen to all these like motivational videos and read all these books about self-improvement, but like unless you articulate how you're going to apply the principles you learn to your life and then set up a system to make sure that you implement those changes into your life and implement those principles, ideas, and techniques into your life, you're not going to improve. So by writing about how I can apply the principles that I learned in this book or that book or this video or that video, I've been able to gain a better understanding of human motivation and my own motivation and what makes me motivated. And also another thing, fourth, is a Q&A journal. A Q&A journal is where you ask yourself questions. And one of the questions I ask and I provide new answers to every day is what will increase my motivation? So every day I add new things to that list and I try out different things and the things that work, I keep them and the things that don't, I discard them and that has allowed me to increase my motivation more and more over time. In my next video, I'll go through the top 10 things that through the Q&A journal I discovered would increase my motivation and that have most profoundly improved my motivation. Um, but it's not going to be the same for everyone. You need to ask yourself what will motivate me. But my examples might give you an idea of like what sort of answers to provide and how to think through them and then how to apply them. So I'll go ahead and do that in my next video. Um, what else can increase motivation? Supplements. The L-tyrosine. It's a precursor to dopamine. Um, Another thing is the HRV biofeedback. For $80, you can get an HRV biofeedback trainer, heart rate variability. And what it does is you clip something in your ear and you have an app and it uses Bluetooth and it tells you what your heart rate variability is. And the higher your heart rate variability, the less stressed you are. So you have this little app and when you have high heart rate variability, you get positive feedback, and when your variability goes down, you get negative feedback. And you meditate, you do a breathing exercise, and you just clear your mind of all of everything. You just have with the Zen like empty mind state, and then your heart rate variability goes up as you just focus on your breathing, and then you just focus on being and not thinking about anything. And then if you do start thinking about stuff and your brain goes off on a little tangent, then your heart rate variability goes down, which is great because it's basically like training wheels for meditation, but better than training wheels because like with 2 months of HRV biofeedback, you can get like 5 years of worth of meditation benefits in 2 months because other people aren't getting that feedback when they're you know going off on mental tangents and you know thinking about things while you're trying to meditate, getting distracted, like your monkey brain, like jumping from tree, branch to branch, your brain, you know, thinking about things and worrying about things and planning things. Like you don't have immediate feedback. Like stop doing that. Go back to focusing on your meditation. Go back to your empty mind. Go back to being in alignment with your body and just feeling your body and just being one with yourself and then being at peace with yourself and being in a state of gratitude and love and happiness and just feeling those positive emotions and then getting better and better at it until you can just put yourself in a positive state whenever you want. It's kind of like what Tony Robbins talks about like getting yourself in a really good state of mind. Like the HRV biofeedback trainer is the best way to do that because like it teaches you how to do that and it gives you a score too. It's like a video game. Like each time you do it, you get a score based on how high your average heart rate variability was throughout your meditation session. And you don't even have to do it for like 50 minutes a day for like 2 months. And then you take complete control over your stress response. And if you're less stressed, you're gonna you're gonna have more energy and you're not gonna get stressed out by things. You're not gonna get stressed out by a piece of mail about some bullshit you don't want to deal with, or by email, or by a little fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend. You're not gonna get stressed out about those things because you'll know how to be able to just put yourself back in a good state. Realize sometimes things don't go as planned, and then just deal with the problem. Have that conversation, open up, be honest about your emotions with your loved one, talk it through, come to, you know, mutual understanding, and then have makeup sex, and you're good. No reason to get all worked up and upset just because, he or she got passive aggressive about something and didn't express it very well. You just say, like, listen, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. That was thoughtless of me, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, I don't feel like I would, like I said in the beginning of the relationship, if you're upset about something, all I have to say is, hey, Ben, we need to talk. And then sit me down and explain why you're upset, and I'll listen. I'll actually listen to you. So you don't have to get aggressive or passive aggressive. You just say, hey, we need to talk, and you sit down and explain it to me, you know? And if you have a partner, they'll start doing that when they're upset. And then you don't ever have to have any aggression or passive aggression unless like one of you really screws up like real bad, like you text your ex or something, or flirt with someone in front of them, um, or something like that because you're drunk. As long as you don't do something really messed up, like the little things, you can just talk them out. Of course, sometimes you're gonna have fights, but fights are a necessary part of a relationship as long as they're not like every day or every week. As long as they're just once in a while when one of you, makes a mistake because you're human and you're fallible. You're capable. Fallible means capable of making mistakes. Infallible means incapable of making mistakes. Human beings are not infallible. We are fallible. We are capable of being wrong. Fallible doesn't mean you can fail. Well, in a sense, it does. Fallible just means you're capable of being incorrect about what you think. You know, you're capable of having opinions that are not based in reality, and we all have those. Like, I always debate people who are smarter than me in order to figure out where I have bought in, I have overlooked the logical fallacy, or I've overlooked important evidence. I've come to an erroneous conclusion, and I've always debated my professors about the subjects they taught because they were more intelligent than me and they were more well versed in the subject, and that allowed me to really understand the subject better. Like debating a professor is the best way to learn a subject because like you present a point of view, they present another point of view, and then you get into the nuances of it, and he talks about the evidence for his point of view, and you talk about the evidence for your point of view, and then you get a really deep, nuanced understanding of the issue. Like even if you don't feel like your point of view has been completely proven wrong, it's still going to become far more nuanced. You're going to see like areas you overlooked, and that like okay, this area is a little more complex than I thought. It's actually a mix of this and that and this. It's not just X. It's X, Y, and Z, and they all interplay and create this dynamic. Blah blah blah. You know, I should if I had prepared a script for this video, I would have had examples and stuff. But I apologize. Like again, this is an off the cuff video. I don't know if anyone would actually watch the end of this. Maybe after I'm highly successful, people will go back and watch this day one video and see where I started, and then it'll get views. But I don't think it'll get any views like in the immediate future. Maybe I'll get like 10 views at most because like I don't know search engine optimization very well yet. It's not a high quality video. I don't have a great like my room's way too big. You need an enclosed space for really high quality audio. It's not going to be loud enough. I have to yell in order to be heard. I'm going to start just yelling in all my YouTube videos so people can hear me. You know? That's a great idea. And then when I go out and talk to people, I'll yell at them and they'll be like, "Why are you yelling at me?" It's like, that's how I talk when I make YouTube videos so people can hear me. Why do I sound like Donald Trump now? People tell me. I walked into a room, such a big room, and I said to him, this is such a big room, beautiful room. At least that's what people tell me. Whatever. I'm not great at it. It's really hard to get that down. A Trump accent is so hard. Like it's so hard to imitate his voice. I remember one stand-up comedian spent like 3 years like really mastering it, and he got really good at it. I forget who it was, but anyway, link in the Discord below if you want to get involved in my self-improvement Discord. It's called the Self-Actualization Team. Self-actualization is a concept from Abraham Maslow. If you're not familiar with it, well, you can just message me on Discord, ask me about it, or leave a comment below if you want more information, or you can just Google it. Look up self-actualization Abraham Maslow, and you'll learn a lot. All right, so that's the end of this video. Again, I apologize. This is a low quality video. I hope that gave some useful advice in it. Have a great day.